Hello, welcome to Web of Stories. My name is Melinda. This is my fourth attempt at making this video. I should probably just hang it up for today, but we'll see if I can get through it. It is Tuesday, and it is a Tuesday that I thought I had something planned for my channel, and I don't, so I'm going to do a tag. And I went to my little backlog of tags to do, and I found the Reading Books About Reading Books tag. So this was created by Robert G., reader of books. And then I was tagged last month by Pat at Book Chat with Pat. There are 8 prompts plus a tag others. So the first question is, what do you enjoy most about reading? So I was a very imaginative kid. I feel like I had to be imaginative. For all intents and purposes, I was raised as an only child. I do have siblings, but they're much older than I am. So growing up, I was the only child in the house. And reading gave me a way to exercise my imagination. And that's what really got me hooked. Once I kind of figured that out, I was a reluctant reader, not in ability, but just in interest until I was probably in the 3rd or 4th grade, and I discovered Ramona Quimby. So there was something I could relate to Ramona Quimby. And once that kind of got me going. But yes, it gave me a chance to widen my world, to not feel as lonely as I did as a basically only child. So yeah, that's what I live with 3 other people. I am not lonely at all anymore, but I do like having that escape sometimes. Especially like my husband and my kids they're gamers, and I am not a gamer. So this is something that they can do their thing and I can do mine, and it works out really well. Question 2, what is the greatest benefit you get from reading? You know, it has really changed throughout my life. You know, when I was a kid, it was like to fight loneliness. When I was a teenager, it was kind of a way to escape a very confusing world, because the world is confusing when you're a teenager. When I first moved to Boston, as an adult, I was very lonely, and it helped combat loneliness again. And now it just gives me a bit of an escape. I also feel like it keeps me sharp. So I have been out of the workforce for over 16 years. I left when I was pregnant with my daughter. And so the mental stimulation isn't always there that I would have if I were working. So this gives me that. So there's always that benefit as well. And I think that's important as you get older. So there you go. But mostly it's just enjoyment and something that gives my mind a rest. Gives, when I'm anxious about things in the world, I can go read a book that's probably also making me anxious, but at least about something that's imaginary. So the escape value is great for me. Question 3, is there any other activity which gives you satisfaction similar to reading? I used to hike quite a bit. I mean, there was a period in my life where I was out hiking every weekend from spring to fall, and some weekends during the summer. I don't do that as much now because my kids don't like it. Also, in Oregon, in the Portland area in Oregon, the big place to go hiking is the Columbia River Gorge, and it has gotten so crowded there to hike that it's not enjoyable anymore. So, I mean, there's plenty of other places I could go hiking, but we've gotten kind of the point now where I'm fighting crowds, which I don't like. But anyway, so I would say that definitely when I was hiking a lot, hiking would have given me that same sort of feeling of escape. Question 4. Do you have a dedicated time each day or specific days of the week set aside for reading? I generally read like after I eat lunch, before the kids get home. That's sort of a set time for me. And then I also read in the evenings when my family is playing video games or watching television, because I just don't feel like watching television lately. It just doesn't appeal to me. So they can watch whatever they want to watch, and I can just go read my book. But yeah, I think the time that I set aside, like specifically, is like the right after lunch sort of time. And then anything else, the evenings right before bed, that's kind of a bonus time for reading. Do you have a dedicated amount of time each day for reading? That kind of goes with the same question. I probably have maybe an hour by the time I eat lunch and get things done before my son gets home. So I might have about an hour, and then I do aim to get at least an hour a day of reading, which is not that much. I usually get more than that because I have the time after lunch, but then I also have the time in the evening to read. Okay, what is your favorite, this is number 6. What is your favorite essay or book about the joys of reading? So my first impulse answer was this book, which I think has been the answer for everybody, which is The Uncommon Reader. It is a little novella about Queen Elizabeth discovering a bookmobile on the grounds of Buckingham Palace and becoming a reader and how that changes her life. Wonderful little book, but everyone mentions it. So another one I would mention is one that I haven't read in a while. I know I have a copy. I haven't seen that copy in a long time. So I think that copy might be in my daughter's room, which is as good as it being gone. And that is Inkheart by Cornelia Funke, which is a middle grade fantasy about characters that come in and out of books. It was so much fun. I read it as an adult and I loved it. I haven't read on further in the series simply because Inkheart was so magical for me. Just that book, I didn't want to add more to it. I just wanted it to be its own thing. But it's about this girl, she lives with her father. Her mother is dead. And her father gets like sucked into a book and she has to get him out of the book because he can bring characters like known fictional characters in and out of books. It's very interesting. I really, really enjoyed it. There's a movie version of it, which is okay. My husband liked the movie, but he hadn't read the book. So, there you go. So there you go. That's two for one on that one. Okay. So what is number 7? What is your favorite quote about the joy of reading? So this is a tough one because I had a quote. This is a quote. I love it, but I didn't know who the quote was from. So before I did this, I Googled the quote and I found out who said it. And it was someone I'm not going to talk about. Basically, I've narrowed it down to 2 people at this point, and it's not the one who writes The Boy Wizard, it's the other one. So I had to go find another quote that I liked. I don't even want to tell you what the quote was because I don't want to give this person anything. But I kind of went through some lists of quotes, and then one really stuck out to me, and this is from Cicero, who I'm sure has his things, but he was an ancient Roman, whatever. And I do really believe this one. My husband does not, but this goes into the whole bookcase battle that we're having. But a room without books is like a body without a soul, and I do really believe that. So that I've been trying to explain to my husband with the thing with the bookshelves. Go look at my other videos if you want to know what's going on with that. To me, so it's the keeper bookshelves I have downstairs, the books that I have read. And that is almost like art because that is an expression of who I am. I have those books down here so people can see the books I've read to get an idea of who I am. Right now, the idea of who I am, half is half of just stacked piles because I need another bookshelf. But anyway, that's my quote. Yeah, sorry about the other quote, but sometimes you just gotta let things go. Question 8. If you were denied time to read, or if your access to books was denied to you, how would you cope? I would be absolutely cranky and a bear, and no one would want to be around me. I tell my family this all the time. If you do not let me read, your lives will be miserable. That's how. So there's that. But that's what the idea of someone is keeping me from reading. If it is something like, for some whatever reason, I'm just not able to do it for whatever reason. I don't know what I would do, honestly. I don't know what I would do. I would be very grumpy, but I would have to find something to, go on a hike, maybe. I don't know. But I would not be a happy person. I don't think I could cope. That's the answer to that one. So the 9th prompt is to tag others. I have my jar. There's also a big chunk of people here that Pat has already tagged. And this has been out for a while. So I'm going to cut and do these and make sure I don't pull ones that people have already done, who've already done this tag, at least to my knowledge, or have been tagged already. And then I will come back. Okay, I'm back. It took me a while. Trust me. It took me a while. And even these, I'm not sure if they haven't already done them or haven't already been tagged by someone else. I'm just going by the best of my knowledge. And of course, there is no pressure to do this tag. It is an invitation. And it, of course, is a shout out for these people. So go check out their channels. And the first one is Lindsay at Lindsay Reads. Jim and Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff, the home of the 1 minute book review. He does great 1 minute book reviews. And of course, my old friend, Sue Jackson. So again, no pressure, but if you'd like to do it, you have been tagged. Thank you, Pat, for tagging me in this. I'm sorry it took me so long. It could have taken me longer, but you know, hey, I had a hole in my calendar, so there you go. And thank you to Robert for starting this tag. And thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, join my Discord, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.